Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to do a quick little walk around and review over this AGT QH13R Chinese mini excavator. This is a 1-ton unit. It's about as small as they come. There's a couple machines that are a little smaller, but not by much. And this is probably one of the cheapest machines you can buy. Um, Actually, got a really good deal on this. So I snagged it up. I normally don't mess with a whole lot of these, but for the price, I wanted to get it in here and see if it was a good machine. Should you buy one if you're a homeowner? We'll see. I've already messed with it a little bit, done a little digging. It's pretty impressive. But I'm gonna do a walk around real quick, show you what you get for this. I would say base model Chinese mini excavator. All right, here's first glance. It's a good looking machine. It's small, but it's nice. So this is a QH13R AGT Industrial Chinese 1-ton mini excavator. One thing I notice on this machine I like versus some of the other machines in its category is it does have a nice rear access door for the engine. And this engine is the 13.5 Rado, which is just the Briggs & Stratton clone. 420 cc. You'll notice these do have a fuel shutoff. The little black knob there. You first pick one of these up, that's probably going to be off, so that's where that's located. And that's on all these 13.5 engines. But you've got some room in here. It's a small engine, so there's definitely room to work on this thing. It's got just a single little stack pump. That's to check your oil. Or that may be to fill your oil. And then there's another one back here. That may be to check your oil. There's two. One's a dipstick and one's a fill plug. All right. The drain plug, if you can see that, that's to drain the oil. So it is cut out under the machine, so you're not going to make a mess on this model. But look guys, pretty simple. If you'll notice, this machine does not have a hydraulic cooler. It's recommended to install one of those. And I'm not even seeing an inline filter, but it may be up and under the floorboard. That's the engine bay. Let's check out the cab on this thing. .5.5 foot digging depth with this machine. You'll notice it's got a manual thumb. It is plumbed already for an auxiliary attachment, whether it be a hydraulic thumb or an auger. Nice LED light on the boom. Two nice LED lights on the cab. Windshield wiper. All right, let's check out this cab. So this one does have a little wider door than some of them I've seen, which is nice for big guys like me. But I will say I'm 280. If you're 280 or my size, this is not going to be a comfortable machine after a couple hours of running it, especially with this enclosed cab. I can tell you right off, it's an oven inside of there. There is a fan, and it helps. And there is a sliding window, and that helps. But that's not the issue. The issue is you're sitting right on top of the engine. The exhaust, the fuel tank, I mean, it's literally inches away from the bottom of the seat. And as most of these machines have the same problem, your exhaust tip barely sticks out. So all that heat is coming up into this cab. So not only does it get hot, it's also pretty dangerous. Carbon monoxide poisoning is a real thing. So if you're going to get this machine, my opinion, while you're installing your hydraulic cooler right off the bat, you better get you some fans, electric fans, and there's plenty of room, so get you some big ones. But I'd put some on each side, get them fumes away from the machine, some of that heat, and probably extend that pipe a little bit too. Other than that, I think that would that'd probably take care of your cab issues. You know, other than it just be blazing hot in the summer, because the fan's probably not going to keep up. But depends on your location. You know, it's not super bad here where we're at. But anyways, moving on. So I like to call these stick machines. They got little sticks in front of you. They don't have the nice pilot controls. So you got one stick here. This is your auxiliary. That's going to control whatever you hook up on up here, your thumb, auger, whatever. Two taller ones are your tracking, forward and back. And the center one here, that's your blade. Okay. Your two big sticks, those control your boom and your bucket. So pretty basic. You've got your battery disconnect, nice little cup holder, phone holder over here, headlight switch. That one I think does your boom and hour meter, choke, throttle, and your ignition. And as you can see too, you guys see that light? Look at the gaps between the cab. So not a perfect seal on this cab either. Up here you got a little panel. So that looks like your headlights on top of the cab, your fan, and then your windshield wiper. All right, let's get in here and let's fire this thing up, moving around. All right, I'm going to show you guys what it looks like for a big guy getting in this little machine. We're going to hop in here and run some of the controls and show you how this thing operates. So that widened door doesn't, makes it better. It's not that bad. I can tell you getting out is a whole nother story. Let's get this thing fired up, see what it does. I'm gonna go ahead and get my fan turned on. I hope you guys can hear me, and I hope the fan's not distorting the sound. I'm gonna get that fan rolling just to get a little air in here. And I open this window, and I'm gonna leave the door open too, so I don't get carbon monoxide poisoning. All right. Get a little throttle. That's a little jerky. My feather is pretty slow. Can be done. If I just gun it, actually probably not as bad if you just wide open, but it's not that bad. It's actually not that jerky at all. But let's see about the sticks. Put a blade down. Mouth's wide open. Wide open. I'm just trying to get it to jerk. It's not that bad. Alright. Now let's do a digging motion. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, guys. This machine's pretty smooth. I haven't even checked the hydraulic pressure on it. Sometimes I do adjust them, but I haven't even checked this one. So it may have been fine-tuned, but it's actually not bad. All right, so our right stick, that inner boom up and down. Our right stick left to right throws our bucket, just like all these other machines. I think they all operate about the same. Left stick, outer boom, and then turns our machine. I want to see if this thing will pick itself up. We got our blade down. Sure will. Now the fun part, getting out of this thing. I'll go ahead and turn it off. So I rotated the cab over the track at an angle so it'd be easier for me to get out of. Right there at the end when I was just turning circles, that's not good on a machine, and you wouldn't normally be doing that, especially in gravel. The reason I did that is I wanted to see if the machine would bog down, and you can see, you could hear it did a little bit one way, and maybe a little bit the other way, but it didn't die, it didn't stall, so that's all that was for. I'm aware that's not good on the tracks, and it was very possible I could have popped one, but I didn't. So there you go, guys. There's the rundown of that. Now I'm gonna get a tape measure, take a couple measurements, and just see how big this thing is. Like I said, this is probably one of the smallest machines on the market. So let's see how wide these tracks are, or the whole width of the machine. So you're 36 3/4 on the entire width of the machine. So if you need to fit through those tight spots, this machine will do it. It does have it's a 7-inch track, and let's see. I guess that's considered a 16-inch bucket with the teeth on the side. Well, actually, I can measure it down here. Yeah, that's a 16-inch bucket, guys. 3 bucket teeth, side teeth as well. And let's see how tall this machine is. I've seen a lot of guys talk about wanting to know if they'd fit in an enclosed trailer. So just for those couple people out there, let's get some measurements. So top of the machine, I would say 87.5 without the little eyelet here. With the eyelet, you're going to say 89 inches. So that little hook on top, which I suppose is for removing the cab, that adds a little bit of height to it. You take that off, it gets you down, but with that, it's about 89 inches tall. Let's see about the cab. Cab, 31.5 inches that way. You could say 40 inches that way. Of course, that's not counting the boom. So pretty small machine. All right, guys, that's my review of this machine. I know it's kind of short and quick, but there's not a lot here. It's a pretty base machine. The reason I wanted to do this is I know this is not the most popular machine out there by far. I know a lot of you are going to say that thing's junk. You couldn't give it to me, yada, yada, yada. But the fact of the matter is somebody's buying this machine. If they weren't, they wouldn't keep making it. And there's people out there that own this machine and they love it. So this video is for people who don't know if they should buy one, if it's the right one, or if it's not the right one. Will it do what they want to do, or do they need to step up and spend a little more money and get one with a bigger engine, with a bigger body, weighs a little more, with a diesel engine? So this video is for those people mainly. Is this a good residential machine? In my opinion, if you're a homeowner and you've got very small acreage, or just your house in a couple, an acre, and you've got some projects, burying gutters or doing landscaping, stuff like that, I think this machine will be great for that. I think it'd do whatever you want to do as far as personal property, home maintenance. I think you can't go wrong with this machine. It's definitely going to be cheaper than paying somebody to come in and do those projects for you. Is it going to tackle those bigger jobs? It might, but it might struggle. But anyways, overall, it's a pretty solid machine. You got to do a little bit of work to it as soon as you get it to get it operational. Change your fluids, your hydraulic fluid, change your oil, add a hydraulic cooler, add some electric fans, because this does have the cab in the, like I said earlier, you can get this model without the cab. I would still recommend adding the fans even on the model without the cab, just to help get that heat away from the machine, because this thing is real thin metal and that stuff gets hot and it'll burn you. So add your electric fans. Let's see what else. I think that's about it. Those are probably the most important things. Go through, grease everything, grease all your zerks, grease all your alamites. This machine does have both. Any spot that moves, any cylinder is going to have grease points. So grease everything. Most of them have a little grease, but grease them so you know it's done. And grease them every time you use it, or every other time you use it. Keep stuff greased. Proper maintenance is the key to taking care of anything. Doesn't matter where it was made. Junk or not junk, if you do not properly maintain it, it will not work for you. Anything that works for you, you're going to have to work on at some point. That's just the way it is. But anyways, guys, that's my quick little rundown review of this video, or I'm sorry, of this machine. If there's anything I missed that you'd like to see in the next video, leave a comment below. Hey man, you missed this. This is probably good information people would like to know. I'd appreciate that. We're still pretty new to this, so we're learning. But again, that's my review of this QH13R. And thanks for watching, guys.